So what I'm going to do next is variable declaration. Remember, I have image img. I declare a variable for img to hold what person image. I'm declaring a variable for author query selector. This one is going to hold author. If you look at if you look at your if you look at your program, you can see that sorry, yeah, you can see that I have author. You can see ID of author. The next thing is ID of job, ID of what info. So that will become so this one will become I'm gonna call this one job. Should I give it the job? All right, job. Then so this one is saying what job. All right, then the last one is going to be my text. So what will I give it? Yeah, I call it info. Or if I let me give it, if I give it info, I hope you understand. If I give it info here, but you notice that inside my array I gave it text. All right, inside my array I gave it text. So let me just give it text. So this one I am targeting what the info. Please, that person should mute his mic. Is this the sound is too much? So I've declared that variable. The next thing I'm going to declare for my buttons. So let's just say here I have buttons. My buttons was variable. So what's the button that we have? That when we click, you know, remember I gave it a class. I have pre btn, next btn, and what random what btn. So const priv. I don't know if I should spell it like this. Let me spell it like this. Priv btn equals to document dot query selector. So remember, it's a class. We are looking at priv hyphen btn. Please, lest I forget, you will see some people code it, or will be putting semicolon. All right, semicolon is not compulsory in JavaScript. Either you put it or you not put it, your program will still work. All right, in case some of you that used to check people's code, don't say I'm not adding it in my own. No, so it's not compulsory. So this one is going to be next what btn. Then the last one, which is going to be the random btn. How do I call it here? Random btn. How will I call it now? Alright, let me just spell it random hyphen words random btn. So yeah, how do I spell it here? Random words btn. So random hyphen btn. So I have this here like this. So I've declared all my necessary variables that I want to make use of. Now since it's going to be a loop, all right, it's going to come, since it's inside an array, we said the index of an array starts from what? 0, right? The first item is 0, all right? So I'm going to declare a variable that I'm going to initialize to be 0, so that I'll use that one to start from the beginning. So my current item, let me spell it like this. My current item was declared initialized to be 0. It means that when I start my program, my looping, it will just go for the what? The first item that I have inside my program. Now I want to introduce you to a DOM method called window load. I think by next class I should talk about an event what listener. Alright, because by then I should be done with anything concerning array. An event what listener. So one of the event listener that we have is the hard event what listener. Now you listen to wherever. I can listen to a document environment. So if you are listening to this your white space on your browser, is what we call document. And what JavaScript relate to document is going to be window. All right, the white space is the window. All right, then and I want to trigger what I have inside my array. So I'm going to say window. So I'm talking to the white space now. dot add words event listener. So what am I listening to? Since I want to load my domain value, that means the first item inside my array, this is going to be DOM content words loaded. All right, DOM content words loaded. DOM content loaded. All right, then this is what I'm going to listen to. Now, anytime you're adding an event listener, you need to call your function. So we are going to look at function properly next class, which is going to be a call backward function. Now, the essence of a function is in a program is for you to write a statement or statements. You can't just write multiple statements without a function. You handle that with a what? With a function. So I'm going to use a callback function here. Bracket open and close. I'll call my curly brace. I call something like this. All right, so that my statement is going to be passed inside this particular word function. Now let me show you something so that you're going to appreciate me. Now if I say, for example, I say const, let's say I want to get the item. All right, I said const item equals to, what's my array name? My array name is what? Reviews, right? I will say if you want to get the item inside your array, remember I get something called current. So if I come here and say, for example, I send console.log, I am trying to get my words, my item. Check my cursor. Let me show you something on my cursor. I should have access to the first item inside that array. Are you seeing that I have access to the first object, which is this person, the ID of one, aerospace madam, engineer, then I have King David. So if I want to have access to the second, it's just for me to turn this on to 1. I will have access to the other one there. Are you seeing it? I have access to Monarchy, my nursing woman. So I have access to her there, okay? So that is what is going on there, all right? This one is just working on a cursor. So I want it to display on my browser. I'm not talking to my cursor. So for this thing to appear on my browser, const item review, I pass in my this guy here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some kind of interchanging of variables. Remember we said that what is responsible for image to appear is called what? img, Abi is the source, which is the SROC. Are you with me at all?
Yes, sir.
So which is going to be the word, the SROC. So I'm going to target my item dot, what do I have inside my array? Dot img, item dot img. I see that I have access to the first item. That is the first item that is what's the person? Aerospace, Abi. That's aerospace.
Yes.
Is it actually aerospace? Yeah, yeah, aerospace. Index of 0 here now is this FYB? Is it for aerospace? F1, F1, F1. Oh, remember I've turned my this thing to be 1. Do you know what I did here? I've turned this guy to be 1. Yeah, so it's supposed to be 0. So to actually see the second one, it's supposed to see this guy. Are you with me now? Are you with me?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
All right, so the next thing I want to get the author. So the author, so we said if you want to change the contents of the HTML element, either use inner HTML or use your what? Your text content. Text content equals to item dot, what did I use? What did I use here in my array? Name, Abby. Item dot what? Dot name. Item dot what? Name. So if you check it, you see that King David is appearing on my browser. Are you seeing it there? King David. So the next thing I want to get is going to be the job. So for the job, it's going to be job. Since that one is a text also, I think you should know what to do. Text content equals to what? Item dot what? Item dot what? Job, right? So I'm going to get the job. Aerospace what? Engineer. You see it on my browser. Then the last one there is going to be the info. Info still test content, that's my array, equals to info test content equals to item dot what, that will be dot text. So I dot test content equals to what, item dot text. There's a problem here. Info. So I think it's supposed to work now. Info, wrong spelling, man. Are you seeing? I'm dark in complexion, 5 feet tall, play basketball and football. He's also a very good word programmer. That is my aerospace engineer. Are you guys with me? Should you now see that we are getting access to this thing now? This is our array.
Depends on because most of them when you go to the charge it in the first quarter to
Who is that? Please mute your mic. So I'm having access to what I have inside my words, inside my array. Now the question is, how do I use a button to be changing the content in my array? How do I use button to be changing the content inside my words, my array? Now the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to use a function. So that function, I will now be calling that function at every call of the event of a button. I will call that function at every call of the event of a button. So I'm going to call a function to call button. So I'm going to call a function. My function name, let's say show person. My function name is show person. Now this function, please just bear with me as I'm talking about function. I'm going to focus on function next class. Now this function is going to be a function with what we call argument. Some people call it parameter. So the argument I'm going to pass here, I'm going to pass in what I want to call person. It must not compulsory. It's not compulsory that it must be person. It can be David. It can be anything. But since you are giving an argument, make sure you are giving a reasonable, a sensible argument that you can use in your program and you know what is doing. All right, a sensible argument or a sensible parameter that you can know what is doing in your program. Is that okay? So now, what I did here right now, I did all of this logic inside here. All right, all the logic I did here is what I want to do inside this part here. But the only difference here now is that instead of me to be calling the current item, I'm going to be calling my words, my person words parameter. I'm going to call it my person. Now anytime you are giving a function, you are feeding a function with an argument, you are feeding a function with a parameter, that function for it to be executed is looking for what? For an attribute. Another word for attribute is what they call what? Value. For it to be what? To be active. If you don't do that, your function will just be looking at you eyeball to what? To eyeball. So the first button I'm going to be looking at now, which is going to be the first one, is going to be the next btn, the next what? Button. So let's see what I want to call it here. So remember, what did I declare? What's the variable I gave it? I gave it next btn. If you remember, that's what I gave it here. So that's what I want to call now. Next btn dot add what? Event listener. Now when you click a button is where you want to trigger something. So that is what we call a click what? Event. That's what we call
Sir, your next is double X. Like I don't know if it's
mm,
NEXX or
this one.
NEXT.
This one.
Oh no, okay, no. That
No,
part is just
in
a
your
comment
button.
Yeah, this is just
above
a
it.
comment.
The
So
comment part.
it does not mean it's for you to know what is going on. So it doesn't really mean anything. It's not going to affect my program. Do you get it? The only thing that will affect my program is this one here. So since my spelling is correct, there's no wahala. So I'm going to call this button now, I'm going to be calling a callback function, a nameless function. All right. I have something like this. Now inside is my callback function. For this program to move to the next, I have to increase my current word item, and we'll talk about operator. If you want to go forward adding of one, JavaScript use plus plus. All right. JavaScript uses what? Plus plus. If you don't know, be my guest. Let's say I called a console.log here, because somebody will be saying, Mr. Emmanuel, you are taking us too far. Console.log, I pass in this guy here. So inside here now, I pass in plus plus. So see something though. Check my cursor. So next, are you seeing I have 0? That means I have index of 1. I have 1. Are you seeing it? I have 2. If I click again, I have 3. So it's going forward because of that plus plus. Am I good now? So
Yes, sir.
instead of that, let me just comment it out. Current, I'm going to be plus plus. So I want you to go forward. Then how do I move it? If my current item is greater than review, all right, if current item is greater than reviews, what's your reviews? Your reviews is the name of the what? The array, abi. Reviews is greater than the reviews or length. I hope you know that this length method tell us the number of items that we have inside it. So if the current item is greater than, so I will not get error, -1 from it. All right, so do this statement for me. So turn my current item to go back to what? To 0. Hey, problemo. Current item should go back to what? To 0. So then what am I showing? I am showing what? Show what? Show person. That's the function I've declared here. So the argument I'm feeding this, the attribute I'm feeding this parameter is what? Is current what? Current item. So look at it. If I click on this button, are you seeing it? Is it changing or is it not changing? Next, it should change. Now when I click on this, you go back. That's because of this condition I pass here. If the current item is greater than the reviews, so my reviews now, apparently now my array is going to be, if you check your review, your array should give you 3, because I have 3 items inside my what? Inside my array. So when it get to 3, -1 from it, and when you -1 for it, I said you should go back to turn current item to be 0. So go back to the beginning. So that's why you're having something like this. Are you guys with me? Am I good?
Yes, sir.
So the next thing
Yes,
now
sir.
is the previous button for you to go
Yes,
back.
sir.
So uh prev prev button. So that will be prev btn. Just the same thing we did here. Add event list now. So we are listening to what? To a click what? Event. We are listening to click event. Then I'm going to pass my callback function. My callback function I'm going to use here. So I have something like this here. So now for me to go back, current item should be what? Minus minus, abi. Minus minus, we take it what? Back. All right. Now if do I still need to do my console.log, you see that it will be going back. So you can check it probably when you are going through it on your own. So for this program not to crash, I will have to check if current item is less than 0. So I don't have it again. If current item is less than what? 0. All right, go back to the beginning. Turn my current item -1 from review.length. So review.length, which is going to be your array, review.length minus what? -1. So what am I showing? I am also showing inside this function, I'm showing my words show what person. So what the attribute that I'm giving this guy is what? current what item. If I store this one, I click on this, I'm in a very good shape. I click on this, I see it's taking me back. I click on this. So then now the next thing that I will do, which is going to be for the random, right? Please, any question there so far?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
All right, so now let's talk about this random now. So the same logic is going to be applicable for random because it's also a button. So I'm going to call the random btn dot add event what listener. So we are still listening to a click event because we want the action to take place when we click on it. So I'm going to call my callback what function. Call my callback function. I have something like this here. Now, one thing about this now, if you want to get a random generation of values, there's something called the math method. The math method has properties like uh, random, properties like floor, or you can even call it method anyway. A method like random, a method like floor, and stuff like that. So what if you are building something like a calculator and you are using JavaScript to build a calculator? Okay, you need to understand math method very well because most of those buttons you want to get your raised to power, your square root, and you don't want to stress yourself. It's better you use the math method in it. All right, so how do I make use of it? Yeah, if I show you console, let me just show you something so that don't look as if I copy code. If I say math.random, all right, math.random, let's see what this method is going to be for me. Please be checking your cursor. Check my cursor. So I have math.random, Abby. So I'm going to click on this guy. I see there is a random generation of number, but this case now is having something like this. Now let's say I pass it, I have a math.floor, math.floor, then inside math.floor, and I have a math.what the random. So math.floor, then I have a math.random. Let's say I click. This one will just be giving you 1. So what floor does is that it will give you 0 because no value is more than 0. All right. Then let's now say I multiply this particular guy here. I multiply it by uh, I multiply it by my reviews. All right, my reviews presently is what my array, my reviews dot length. I'll multiply it by my reviews dot length. Look at it. If I click on it, you see that this thing will be changing. I have 1, I have 1, I have 2, I have 1, I have 1. So you can see a random generation of number. So this is what I want to do, that I will not be getting this thing on a random words basis. So what I'm going to do now, let me copy this guy here so that I'll copy this, then I'll comment this one out. So I will call it current item. So this is what I'm using now to handle my current item now. Current item in this case now is not a variable that is holding the logic of this one. Please, are you with me? It's not a variable that is holding the logic of this. So remember now, what the function we declare up there that we use to change this in is called what? Show person, right? So I'll call my show person inside this bracket here. I'll call the current words, item. If I store it, is there any problem here? So because I didn't close this bracket, so if I store it now, look at it on a random basis, this item should be changing. Show person current item. So what am I not doing right? Math.floor, math.random multiplied by reviews dot what dot length. I'm in a very good shape, man. Show person. Are you seeing it now? So you can see. Are you seeing it? Please, any question? So
No, sir.
this one is still working. So you can see that all those bulk of item is coming from the array. So this your array now can be longer than this. Let's say I have other pictures I want to use. Let's say I have other pictures I want to use. I think I have a picture here. Well, I may not be able to change the value, but if I change the picture, you understand, Abby. Let's say F5. I have up to F6. So let's say this one I have F5. So now this my ID will now become yeah, no problem about that. This one will become 4. So this last one now, I have this one now, comma. So this one will now become what? 5. 5. So this one will become F what? 6. So it can be plenty as much as possible. So you can see I click. What's going on here? It's not showing me the. Hope I've not changed anything here. It's like I don't have. Oh, F5 is PNG, not JPG. So this
F6 is JPEG also.
S6 is what? JPEG. Where is it?
JPEG.
Yeah, JPEG. Thank you. So this 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 this. All right. Are we good? So on a random selection, you also been in a very good shape. Please, any question? Any question?
No, sir.
So absence of no question. Now I'm going to give you a task. You see this project that we have done. Let me see how you're going to make your research, how you're going to do your job. I want it to be automatically change. So it will be like you can make it like 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds change, not clicking a button. Hope it's not too big for us.
Sir, so wait, if we are doing it, does it mean that this previous and next and random this thing will not be there or something?
It can be there, but you now have another function that will just be making it go by himself. Then the previous can still work. If the person want to click on previous, want to click on next or click on random, then you can still make it. Then you now have your own effect to make it automatic. That's just automatic.
Okay.
I just want to test you guys, so we may do it next class together. But let me just see how you make research. You can use your AI environment, AI tools to make your research. No, any
All
question?
right. No, sir.
Absence of no question. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will send the video and the code on the platform. Thank you. Oya Jobi Oluwojo.